Greetings and welcome back to the channel. As a first for today on the channel, some mountain bike. Something I love doing, have done since I was about 17 years old, formerly in my mother country of Wales and now in the French Alps, although nowadays it's all downhill stuff and not much climbing. So sit back, enjoy, and let's do this. So once the snow melts below the glaciers and the cyclists descend on the town, there's 2 months in Val d'Isère where the bubbles and chairs open to transform these different tribe to the mountain playground just above us. July and August play host to the most wonderful bunch of dirt-loving enthusiasts, and the mountain bike is once again king. Apologies if you can hear the thunderstorm. We're having a summer thunderstorm this afternoon, so you will hear some thunderous sounds. So come with me and sample some of the stuff that's on offer. This is not exhaustive, it's a huge area, but you'll see a fair bit of the terrain and the sorts of weather you can expect, what sort of angles you're looking at. Trails are open on both sides in Val d'Isère and a neighbouring Tignes, and those are all accessible using lifts from the areas. Not all the lifts are open that are open in the winter season for skiing and snowboarding, but there's plenty available, and a day pass will cost you €20. Helmets and protection are mandatory, but I'd suggest both just in case. Particular afternoon, I'm enjoying some typical weather temperatures in the high 20s, I'd say, which even with all your kit on is okay, because the alpine temps and the breeze up high are enough to keep you cool. The only time temperatures will come into the mix is when you get down to resort level, and if you hang around at all in your long shorts, full protection, helmet and everything else, pushing your rig, I'm sure you're going to get a bit sweaty. But if you fancy a beer, there's a nice spot at Sunbar, just next to the Olympic lift, which is always there for adequate refreshment. traffic on the mountain is generally light, as you'll see. Hundreds of kilometres of trail to choose from, so it's not likely you're going to get held up by anyone, although it is popular. Most of the people here, the main sport in the area is mountain biking. You know, there's other stuff on offer, so you're going to come across people of varying levels of ability during your day. Last uplift from Olympic and Valside is 4:30, so timing's key if you want to get back up top for that last happy hour trip down. Pretty much everything here is designed for a moderate level biker, I'd say. There's a few large gap jumps and some big drop-offs as you come down through fast wood down to Ladai, and also there's some rocky stuff which is fairly difficult in the Belfhard, that's well named Belfhard section, which is black. First time you come out to the region and you want to hire kit rather than dragging your own, you can hire everything you need, bikes, long travel, Mondraker, Commencal. There's plenty of decent bits of kit that you can rent, and the cost of €100 per day, I think that's what it is roughly, will include all your protection you need, so chest, back pads, elbow pads, knee pads, helmets. The only thing you'll have to bring is your own eye protection, so goggles, gloves and shoes. Have yourself a good pair of mountain bike shoes for flat pedal use, as they won't supply those. suggest wearing trainers, which is what I see a lot of people wearing, because the number of rocks and boulders that are going to fly up and hit you in the toes, you want some toe protection. Bring your own and you do hire someone else's kit from one of the shops, I'd suggest taking their insurance option, because if you're like me, you're going to break bits of kit. Like these bikes take some damage. The terrain is such that you're going to break something, whether it's a wheel or a rear derailleur, sometimes a crank. A set of forks is an unheard of if you bin it hard. You don't want to be wheeling that thing back in and then them telling you it's going to cost you $1,000 to cover the damage. So yeah, take that. It's like, it's probably 10-20 quid on top of your hire, and it's just worth it, just so that you don't have that huge bill when you finish your day.
Ça va?
Most of the runs are fast and flowy. That's generally the way here. They're all designed for quick progress and perfectly suited for some of the larger runs, which can be 10k plus in length. footage here. Sorry about the angle of view on a lot of my stuff. My new helmet mount is on the way, but I'm using a chesty, which is fine when you're in a seated position cruising, which is for a lot of this stuff. It's fast enough, plus you've got extra traction on the rear wheel when you're doing the berms. But if I stand, then the angle becomes steeper, and that's why you're copping a load of top tube and handlebar. So apologies for that, but I've tried to cut out most of the stuff that I'm not looking up on. I used to use a rear-mounted seat posting from a GoPro, which back when I was back in Wales, in Commencal and Bike Park Wales and that. So I'll try and dig that out. I'm sure it's somewhere down in storage. So I'll dig that out and try that one as well if anyone would like to see rear-facing footage. Attends. Merci. Bonjour. Bonjour. On this video, if you've got any questions, you want advice on accommodation, coming out to stay locally, if you need a guide that's willing to show you some of the routes, just shout. I'm always happy to answer.
m'a dit, vu que je connais bien les gars.
Link to the Strava effort is, as always, in the description. And for those among you who Zwift at all, I'm doing a giveaway of a Zwift cog the next time I do a Zwift Racing League upload. So subscribe and do all the usual to grab yourself a chance at that. Worldwide delivery, no problems. In the meantime, ride more, ride hard, and ride on. Thanks for watching.